This episode of PDX Spotlight is brought to you in association with Portland Radio Project.
Extreme close-up! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
We are Pseudoboss, and this is PDX Spotlight.
Welcome to PDX Spotlight. I'm your host, Luke Neill, and tonight on the show we have one of my favorite Portland trios, Pseudoboss. Guys, thanks for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. So before we dive in, go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you play.
I am Noah Straup. I am the lead singer of the band, and I play a combination of guitar and bass, which I think we're going to talk about later at the same time, by the way.
We're going to talk at the same time, or...? Just kidding.
I play guitar and bass at the same time. One instrument, two sounds.
He's a master. I'm Charlie. I play the drums.
I'm Justin Gibson, and I play the guitar and sing backing vocals as well.
Well, you guys have been playing as a three-piece for just over a year. I think it was February or March of 2015. You two joined up with Noah, but Noah, the project actually dates back to 2008. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, At that time, I was in a Led Zeppelin tribute band in Corvallis for a bit and kind of wanted to do some original music. So the drummer and I paired together, and that wasn't really fulfilling the sound, but that's where the whole guitar with a bass tone octave pedal started, because I needed to fill as much sound as I could with just one person. Found out I wasn't a good enough guitar player to fill all that space, so then brought in a third person, Connor O'Shea, and with Chris Harver on the drums. And we played for maybe 3 years, recorded 8 songs, and then it went by the wayside as Connor moved to LA, Chris got into nursing school, and then I moved to Bend for a period of time.
Now, you guys, Charlie and Justin, you've been in other projects here locally, too. Charlie, if I remember right, you were a fan of Pseudoboss before you joined up, so talk to us about that experience.
Well, I like rock and roll a lot, and they were a rock and roll band, so it was pretty simple to put that one together. But the thing that was awesome was their drummer, Chris, couldn't make it to a gig back in the day, so they asked me to fill in on drums back then, and I was like fanboying out, like, hell yeah. And so I've just been a fan ever since. And so sort of actually this may have spawned from that fandom, because from 2011 to about when we started again, I still was listening to Pseudoboss pretty regularly. And then on Facebook, I was like, dear gods of rock, please bring back Pseudoboss. They know not their potential to the world. And then like 2 weeks later, I get a call from Justin. He's like, yo, you want to drum with Noah and I? And I was like, what? Just like that. And so that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, Justin, you were on board with Noah beforehand. How did that come to be?
So going all the way back, Charlie and I were actually in a metal band too at one point. So when we were in Corvallis, so we had a working relationship with each other, playing music and stuff like that. And
we were friends too.
yes, sure, yes, of course. My first experience playing with Noah was actually doing a charity concert down in Corvallis, where we played an entire Beatles album, Let It Be, and we played Pink Floyd Animals for a charity event. And I noticed also on Facebook in the summer of 2014, I think, that Noah was coming from Bend, moving to Portland. And so I sent him a message and we started playing a little bit, and we did that over the summer for a few months. And then Charlie got into the mix and we started rehearsing and played our first show in January of 2015.
Yeah. Justin was like, are you sure you want to call this guy?
The intention was to start with the Pseudoboss catalog because it was already there. I knew these guys were fans. We weren't necessarily going to call it Pseudoboss. We weren't able to come up with a better name.
Awful names.
So we just kind of stuck with the brand as it already was.
Perfect.
But it's worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I held you to keep you warm, the blood of my lover's heart stained my arms. You told me you loved me, we'd meet again. If I found you carrying my revenge, I'll say goodbye, but it's just a beginning for a heart inside. So I loaded my only gun and set off chasing down that setting sun to find a thieving bastard whose wicked eyes and a single errant gunshot stole my mind.
one of the things I first loved about the band was finding out that there was no bassist, and in a power trio, that's kind of tough to pull off. So why don't you, in layman's terms, show us what you're doing on the guitar? And because you said earlier you're trying to fill the sound, so how are you doing that now?
Sure. So the setup that I have is I'm just running out of my 6-string guitar. It's going into a POG octave pedal. POG stands for polyoctave generator, which allows me to play 2 notes at the same time, and it still will keep up with the tone. So right now this is unaffected, what guitar would sound like. And then when I click the POG button, so the poly part is that I can play multiple notes at the same time, and it's just warping everything down an octave. That pedal then goes into my bass amp, so it just handles a bass low tone better than a guitar amp would. When pseudoboss first started, I actually ruined a guitar amp by trying to run this octave thing through it. So then I also run just a clean channel through my guitar amp. So that's the unaffected tone that. So I get, it kind of sounds like I'm doubling myself all the time with a bass and a guitar, but I only have to play one instrument, which is nice. So it kind of allows us to sound like more than a 3-piece. And then on the other side, Justin's actually doing the same thing, but he warps his guitar up more often than not.
Got all the octaves covered.
Like on Oliphants at the outro, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so at times we could sound like a 5-piece, 6-piece even, depending on what we run.
The stage, you don't know.
Because I have another polyoctave generator that I can run as well.
Man behind the green curtain.
Charlie, how's that for you as a rhythm section? Is it weird not to have a dedicated bassist?
No, it's totally sweet, actually. So funny story. When they first called me up, I said, okay, but I'm playing bass. You guys can find another drummer. And they looked at me and they're like, nah, don't even.
We wanted Charlie to stick with his strengths, and at the time,
Yeah.
we also needed a drummer.
But the nice part is actually this has become, whatever weird tone that's generated by that POG pedal and running it through the bass amp and all that, that has become our unique sound. In the same way that, like, you know, when you listen to Tool, you can just sort of tell by the tones they're using, like, this sounds like a Tool song, you know, or Rage Against the Machine too. You just listen, but they're, you know, the rhythms are included in that one as well, but the tone they have is very unique to their band. And so, you know, while we don't have a bass player, what we're able to create is something that really not too many bands are doing. I know a few others that run similar setups, but it still doesn't sound like Pseudoboss, so that's really cool to me. I like that.
Yeah, I don't think you guys sound like anyone else in town. And as you're forming your sound, how many of the songs did you have when the guys came in? Did you write anything, or they already knew the songs, like Oliphants as an older one? And
Sure. What we ended up putting on the record was a couple of old Pseudoboss songs that I thought would be good to re-record, and we all agreed. But then while I was in Bend, I had done some writing too, and didn't form a band while I was there, but always wanted to hear these songs with a full band, and fortunately they agreed that they were record worthy, so we did that. So there's maybe 2?
3 of those, I think three
Devil
of
May
those songs
Care.
were yours. Devil May Care, Heavy Heart, and Make You Scream.
Yeah.
And then we also kind of arranged an outro for Fallen Soldier, which ended up kind of expanding into this long thing.
Right.
And it's the part 2 on the record of
it's
Fallen
too long
Soldier.
to perform tonight, but those are probably my 2 favorite songs on the record. Yeah, Fallen
Which ones?
Soldier Part 1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2.
Yeah, I love them both.
All right.
Always asking, always wanted to know. We be my lover, baby, after the show. I take you out and
So last year in 2015, you're finding your own sound, you're getting your stage legs together. When did you go into the studio? And you went to Magic Closet, right?
Went in October. So we spent a lot of time, you know, polishing songs, rearranging songs. Devil May Care was a song that we just didn't come up with an arrangement that we really liked until
Day of.
well, we had something we played at the Doug Fir a few weeks before that, and we were pretty happy with that. And our producer Ian Watts, we showed him a YouTube video of what we played, and he's like, "No, I don't like, you know, strumming guitar chords in the chorus." And we rewrote a lot of stuff in the studio in one night. Well, not rewrote, but rearranged it and kind of changed the feel of some of the guitar parts. And
Yeah.
we're really happy with the result. We were at the point where we almost were like, should we record this or should we wait? And it ended up turning out really, really well for us.
The whole process was sort of several months leading up to the recording, and then that was working with Ian, our producer, and he was a great guy because he'd come in with a notepad and paper and be like, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, think about changing this, and just he'd literally walk in, hitman that thing, and then just be like, see you guys, and then we'd go and make changes, and it was a very iterative process. Even with Devil May Care, which literally did lead all the way into the studio, it was that day that Ian was like, here we go again, we're gonna hash this out, and then he said, that's it, that's the sound, we're gonna record that. And that's what we did in the studio. Right then and there, he just hit the record button and we did it. So it was a very organic process, which was really sweet.
And as you were polishing off the record, you had a pretty busy fall. You played at the Mogo Music Festival. You guys were the first night at Dante's?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
That was killer. And then in January of this year, you released the self-titled record, and you did the record release at the Wonder Ballroom. Let's talk about that show. I was there, and it was mind-blowing.
That was awesome.
That was a huge opportunity for us just to be working with Jason Fellman and got to open for Ramble On. The huge irony for me is I got to open for a Led Zeppelin tribute band after being in one for 10 years. But then it was also the biggest show that I had played with Pseudoboss. So Led Zeppelin tribute bands are very much a part of my story as a musician. And I don't know how long that's going to go on, but
Yes,
I'm all right with it.
Spirit Lake opened for you guys, and I know for a fact there was some Ramble On fans there, and I was asking around, and they didn't know who you were, which was kind of cool. So I was watching them during your set, and you made some believers that night. You know, it was fun to go to the merch table and talk to your merch folks, which I think you sold out of everything.
We sold a record-setting amount of merch that night. It was insane.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was very encouraging.
It was
very
cool.
encouraging.
You guys had a lot of good stuff. But yeah, the point is, like, you're so good live. That's what the Portland music scene should be about. You should be going to shows and sticking around for the whole thing. Like, even though it's a tribute band. Yeah.
I love you.
See, if there are 5 bands, stick around. You never know what you're going to find. What's your game plan for that? Is another EP, or you're going to do another LP? As a selfish fan, I want an LP.
We're shooting
What would that
for-
mean? 12 songs? 20?
11. I mean,
I
you
think
have
we're
9
shooting
on
for
this
5
one.
or 6.
It'll take,
10.
Yeah.
okay,
tracks,
10.
An extra one.
We have 1. And we're planning on recording in October, so we are going to buckle down and try to record, like, we need to write.
Justin needs to
A
bring in
lot.
some more riffs.
Yeah, we got, well,
I
yeah.
got some riffs I'm bringing in. Hold on now.
We're all bringing in little bits and pieces right now, and I feel like there's a couple paths we can go down. I have another song that's pretty much completely finished, as long as these guys don't want to tweak the arrangement,
And we're working
Charlie's
on
working on stuff
Heart
too.
and Soul.
We're again gonna maybe use some old Pseudoboss stuff that's
Cool.
already been written, just to flesh it out some more and like
It
try
worked
and
well the first time.
freshen it up.
It's interesting to go back to, because I think I got back to 2008 and saw some Pseudoboss and Corvallis. Glorious haircut, by the way. No, it was fantastic. Back then, it was
Sometimes I miss it.
it was good. Well, and you know what's cool too is I think your guys' Instagram account is super fun. I think it was one of the road trips you guys went on. You had 6 or 7 videos of going bonkers on Instagram. So let everyone know how they can find you online: website, Instagram, Facebook.
Our website is www.pseudoboss.rocks.
I'm hoping they put the website right here on my finger.
Put it over his,
Sprinkles,
but then put it over his face.
fireworks. Yeah.
Facebook is facebook.com/pseudobossrocks. Instagram is @pseudoboss.
Yep.
We tried to make it consistent, but things are just taken. So
But pseudoboss.rocks is pretty awesome. I think you're the first web address I heard that's a .rocks. So good on you.
Well, I let pseudoboss.com lapse while there was no pseudoboss, and somebody snagged it.
That's odd. Some weird business out there.
Who
called
wants
Pseudoboss.
that?
Well, thanks again for being here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Pseudoboss.
Thank you.
Luke.